when we talk about Netherlands cricket and we talk about a lot of amateurs playing the game, but with the leagues going around and and now that you have shown in two successive World Cups that you can take on the bigger teams, where do you see professionalism coming into Netherlands cricket right now? Do you see yourself as professional cricketers who can actually survive on cricket now?
It's the hot question at the moment, is how do we ride this momentum and actually put structures in place in the Netherlands so that this run that we're having can be sustainable, and that we can look at the long term and not let this time just be a flash in the pan. So there's the attention we're getting through our performances, through the style we're playing. Hopefully, there's more investment into the game from a local point of view, but also international sponsors want to get behind the Netherlands team, and that's all going to kind of have a flow-on effect, come into more contracts, better facilities, more resources, more coaching, and I look at how New Zealand were 20 years ago. I was only about 10 years old in New Zealand. But I remember at that period, professional cricket actually started 2000, and see where New Zealand are right now and the way they play and the way they go about it. We've got in the Netherlands just as many players, and I can't see why in the next 5 to 10 years we can start being more consistent on the world stage. T20 leagues. So the nature of world cricket at the moment, and I think this is going to happen for most teams, is the fact that, for example, I've played GT20 this year. I played at Worcester, played the qualifiers, and I also play in Wellington. So even on a kind of smaller scale, I've played in 4 different leagues, and just that experience from all those different leagues, playing with different players and learning off them, and then bringing it back to the Netherlands side, only strengthens the team. So I hope that there's a number of players from this tournament that they'll be able to play 3 or 4 leagues a year. They have a Dutch contract, and that's probably where we're heading.
Logan, you've been part of the Dutch sides for a few years now. So what is it different about this particular side that you have this belief? I don't even know whether you consider your win against South Africa as an upset within your camp. But what is it like? Why does it feel different? Even the way you won games in the qualifiers to get here.
I think it's the consistency of preparation. So no matter who we're going up against, we consistently prepare exactly the same every time. Whether it be Australia, whether it be Oman, that we go through the same process in terms of preparation. We don't leave out anything in terms of how hard we train, or the endless work that we do, or the preparation we do in our recovery. Everything, it's all consistent. That stems from Ryan Cook, the way he goes about it. He's very professional, very organized, and also he's got this positive belief. So the feeling of you feeling backed, and I think the fact that he's so consistent in his preparation, his hard work, that he's very believable, and you want to follow him. And so people coming into this culture quickly buy into how we go about it, and it's new guys, for example, Sabrant Engelbrecht, has come freshly into the environment and straight away has just kind of bought into the style of play, and his performances the last few matches have shown that if you buy into it, it kind of goes from there. And so, yeah.
And sorry, just on Scotty Edwards. I mean, is he already a little sick and tired about how everybody keeps bringing up his Australian connections, especially in the lead up to this game?
Yeah, no, Scotty's excited for this game. He's obviously probably grown up wanting to play for Australia. He still can play for Australia. What I've seen from Scott over the last few years, especially when he took over the captaincy and the way he plays, like I firmly believe he would be a valuable asset to any Big Bash side going this summer. Victorian side, like he's probably not the traditional style of Big Bash, like Bash cricket, but he just he gets you with like a million cuts, or sweeps, I should say. But he finds a way to get the job done, and when you bat with him, he lifts your game as well. But no, I can just tell the last few days he's got that extra little motivation, and it's like me when I play New Zealand or West Indies, the same kind of feeling of I just want to get one up over these guys.
And kind of picking up on that, Logan, like Netherlands haven't played Australia in any format, I don't think, since the 2007 World Cup. I'm not sure if that's the same for other teams you've played in this tournament, but does that add something extra too?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the warm-up game the other day was the first time that I'd played against Australia. First time a lot of the guys have played against Australia. And for me, growing up in New Zealand and being so close to Australia, like I've looked up to. I've got an Australian photo right in my face right now at the back here, just looking at me. And a lot of those guys I grew up watching, and I admired a lot of the way that the Australians go about their cricket. And and the players in their team is a lot of those guys you're trying to emulate as well in terms of how they go about it. But over the last kind of year or two of playing for the Netherlands and us trying to, or us going against the best, and especially in the Super League the last few years at these World Cups, I guess the novelty has kind of worn off a little bit in terms of going against these big sides. Like the preparation's been exactly the same. There's nothing different that we've done for this Australian game than we've done for the Sri Lanka game, South Africa game. It's all the same. So again, it's going out there and how do we get ourselves in the best position to perform against these guys. Yes, on the outside, it's all these guys have played IPL and Ashes cricket and all that stuff. Cool, happy days. But again, I mentioned after the South African game that the beauty about sport is the script is never written. And so tomorrow is a blank canvas, and one of our guys could have the greatest games ever, or a couple of great games, and they could be a little bit off. And it just depends on what happens in the day. So that I love that kind of curiosity when you wake up in the morning and go, all right, well, let's see what this day holds.
Yeah, and sorry to kind of bring this on a slight of a downer, but you talked before about the Super League getting cut, and I mean, you guys might never play against Australia again in 50 over cricket, realistically, right? Like, how does that make you feel? Looking beyond the excitement of tomorrow.
Yeah. The Super League is disappointing for sure. They've obviously made a decision around cutting that, and there's a reasons behind everything. Tomorrow will be a special occasion because it will be the first time a lot of us have gone against Australia, and I think there's more of an excitement value of going against Australia. I firmly believe the way that we're heading that's not going to be the case, and T20 World Cup is just around the corner, and we could be in the same pool as Australia. So I don't think that's been and gone. We're very much in the now and what's going to happen in the future, and fingers crossed. The way we're playing, we're showing that we deserve to be having more series at home in the Netherlands, and teams are wanting to come over to the Netherlands to play as well. So hopefully Australia will be one of those teams that on the way to England they can play a series against the Netherlands before they play England, and something along those lines. Would be pretty cool in the future.
Hi, Logan. You just mentioned that the Dutch team wants to make it through the semis. Somehow, if you are not able to make it to the semis, what would you consider a satisfactory campaign, and how do you feel? How do you hope it can change Netherlands cricket?
Satisfactory campaign. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's going to be one or two ways. We're going to make the series or semis, or we're not going to make the semis. I think satisfactory would be the fact that we have stayed consistent. Like so far, 4 games we've done that. Stay consistent in our preparation. I'm going to repeat it again, but if we can play to our standards every game, and regardless of the outcome, we can walk away and go, look, we did everything we possibly could do in that match to get the outcome we wanted. The beauty about how the pool was kind of playing out and people were losing here, there, and everywhere is that it might not actually take 4 wins. It might take 3 wins and a net run rate or whatever the case may be. But no, that will be kind of a future to kind of dictate whether this is satisfactory or not. But for us internally, can we look at ourselves in the mirror and say we did everything we possibly could do to give ourselves the best chance in this tournament?
Me?
How do I hope that Netherlands... I think satisfactory is, it's kind of the wrong word. Like, that seems like just like ho-hum kind of word. I think an inspirational kind of tournament. We want to inspire the cricketers back home in the Netherlands. I watched a Dutch sports show this morning, and they were talking about cricket and laughing how it's pretty similar to a 9-to-5 job, how long it takes, and they were making a few other jokes. And I hope that another couple wins, they can almost stop joking about cricket in the Netherlands and they start talking seriously about how this is actually one of our best sports teams in the country. So that's one to inspire the next generation, but also to change the narrative within Netherlands around we're actually one of the better Netherlands sporting outfits going around.
Yeah, where do you think there has been a delay in Netherlands' entry to Test cricket, considering that they played in the 1996 World Cup, and there were teams like Afghanistan and Ireland who were not there anywhere. They've got Test status, but Netherlands are still struggling to get Test status. Also, the fact that the proximity to England, where some of your players used to play county cricket, Luke van Troost and so many others.
Yeah, I love Test cricket. Test cricket is something that I grew up watching. I still play 4-day cricket in New Zealand and in county cricket. I firmly believe it's a great baseline to learn how to bat time, learn how to bowl long spells, but also learn how to play when you're tired. And for me, the other day in that Sri Lanka game, I batted for a couple hours and then I had to go open the bowling. But I knew that I could do it because I have done it in 4-day cricket. So that was the benefits of longer form cricket. I think in terms of for the Netherlands, I think chasing Test status could hamper getting more players involved in the Netherlands. I think the beauty is, for me personally, like if Netherlands had Test status, then I wouldn't be able to go back and play in New Zealand or Colin Ackerman or Buster Later. They can't go play county cricket or anything like that. So I think the more we can, I guess at this stage, focus on the T20 and 1-day cricket and give guys opportunity to play in other leagues and around the world, and give people in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, doesn't matter if they've got Dutch passports or if they want to play international cricket, to come to the Netherlands, do the qualifications like Tej Nandamanuru and SR Engelbrand have done, and play international cricket. And so I think that's more positive in the short term for us. And then if we gain momentum and we've got a pool of players that can compete in Test match cricket in the future, then that will definitely push for that.
My question from you is, once again, Scott has grown up in Australia, so he most probably got a chance to witness how Australians play their cricket, their cricketing culture from a very close distance, and perhaps from an Australian perspective. Has this knowledge of Scott helped you in any way while training? Has it added any surprise element or something special in your training against Australia?
Has he provided?
Has his knowledge as a kid who grew up in Australia,
Right.
has it helped you in training, like his knowledge that he could gather?
Yeah, well, I wasn't at training yesterday, so I'm not sure what he did yesterday, and he wasn't at training yesterday as well. It's obviously quite a short turnaround, and we try and focus on the next game. Tonight's training, though, I was going to talk to him specifically around the batting and kind of what his tactics are against certain bowlers, and I think, yeah, he's got to the stage now where he actually hasn't faced or played with a lot of the guys either. So he's in a similar boat to us, where he's watched them on TV a lot. He doesn't quite probably know them personally, or he's only played maybe a little bit of grade cricket against Maxwell, I think. So he's probably in a similar boat to us around, yes, he's seen them on TV. And so, again, the beauty about Scott is that he treats each game exactly the same. And he's such a low key, but he's such a humble, hardworking guy that you don't really know what's going to happen. It's hard to explain. He's again, I think he leads the fact that it's just another game, and that's the way he goes about it, and that rubs off on a lot of us as well, where we're going, okay, this is just another game. Yes, it's the first time we're playing Australia, and if we manage to put on a great performance and create a memory for a lifetime, then happy days. But no, he's pretty cool, calm, and collective at the moment.